votre one!
Oh my.
Watch your heads!
Oh, my little A. We ought to help one or the other. Oh no. Oh, my little A.
Catch!
They're not backing down! Must be something of value to them here! For Demavend!
Nej, du använder mest.
My pain serves a purpose. I smell a leak.
Ever have a stone knock out one of your teeth?
Go, hop, hop.
Admiral and ship.
We got a job to do.
Oh my.
I was hoping you'd say that.
Have it the white of an eye from half a league away.
I shall not fail!
Her Majesty knows what she's doing.
Nothing personal, I assure you.
None shall tread on us!
Oh, my little A.
The unworthy shall be punished.
Dance of death! Ha! Ha!
Dwarf!
We ought to help one or the other.
Bigger they are, easier they are to tug.
This is elven land, dwarf, upon which your kind dies.
Thing about slings, they hide well.
They resisted to the very end.
When the Lyrians broke the elven ranks, Meve was convinced their foe would retreat and regroup. But to her surprise, the Scoia'tael fought to the bitter end. She concluded there must have been something truly valuable hidden in that cave. As Meve entered the next chamber, her nose caught the stink of blood, pus, and urine. Then she understood. The elves were using the cave as a field hospital. Wounded fighters lay by the cavern walls. They made no attempt to defend themselves, nor to beg, nor to make peace with the gods. They merely watched the Lyrians calmly, with stark contempt.
Milady,
Whispered Rayla.
you saw what the Scoia'tael are capable of. What they do to humans. They would have no mercy for...
Reynard, usually calm, could not hold back and cut Rayla off.
What, pray, do you suggest? That we murder the wounded?
The warrior responded in a whisper, slowly emphasizing her words.
I suggest you leave. Leave me and my men. We'll take care of the rest.
Meve looked the warrior in the eyes, and was terrified by what she saw.
No, Rayla. We shall not touch them. Do you understand?
Rayla was quiet for a long moment. Finally, she nodded and left the cave. Reynard followed her with his gaze, hand on hilt.
Reynard, listen to me. You are to keep a close watch on Rayla until we are at least a day's ride from this cave. If she separates from the column, if she tries to double back, I wish to hear about it. Do you understand?
Reynard nodded. Despite the day's victory, they left the cave in a somber mood. Meve swallowed with difficulty. The rancid, clammy air caught in her throat.
We'll await you at the top, Rayla.
The Queen moved towards the exit, keeping close to the walls. After a long hesitation, Reynard followed. Rayla joined them later that evening. She spent a long time washing the blood from her armor.
Have we not passed this way before?
Scouts say no, Your Grace. They mark the trees.
Elves could have erased the marks, or left new ones where we've yet to tread. Best to follow the sun. Only way not to lose your bearings.
Meve was riding at the head of the caravan when Black Rayla rode up and leaned towards her. She spoke in a whisper, a hand shielding her mouth.
Your Grace, I've something important to tell you. Yet you can't show anything to miss. Look straight ahead. Make no sudden moves.
Meve nodded slightly and waited for her to continue.
Scoia'tael scouts in the woods. Watching us. Eldain's near here somewhere, preparing his attack.
So what do you propose?
Asked the Queen, her gaze fixed on the road ahead.
Let him catch us out in the open. We're sitting ducks. But there are ruins nearby, an elven cemetery. We can find cover behind its walls.
Meve was accustomed to discussing important decisions with all her advisors, but she knew there was no time for consultation now. She had to trust Black Rayla's advice, and so without further delay issued the appropriate orders. Meve's retinue reached the cemetery before dusk. Her soldiers knocked down the marble statuary and piled them into barricades, while scouts took up positions outside the walls to watch for the foe's approach. When the sun set, the woods exhaled the heat of the day, and a thick fog soon arose. Out of the mist stepped Reynard's scouts, bound and pushed forward by elves. One of the Scoia'tael, a sturdy elf with long hair, stood by the cemetery wall and cried,
I am Eldain. I would speak to Meve.
I am she. Speak.
Cadmil en Kedva Genvid Renna. This place is of great import to us, the Enshe. I would tell you of its monuments, of the weeping Ensevern, carved by 3 generations of sculptors, or of the alabaster relief of King Kelad, so beautiful even the birds would gather to admire it. But I see your men have found our memorials, and, in the way of Dwan, destroyed them without a second thought. I cannot say this comes as a surprise. You've already shown the gods molded you from the basest of matter. You murdered injured soldiers who no longer posed you any threat. You agreed to lynch an entire village, without trial.
Get to the point, Eldain.
So I shall. As you certainly know, the necropolis is surrounded. Soon, there shall be a battle. But it is unseemly to fight in a cemetery. So I ask you to come out into the open.
And surrender our tactical advantage.
I suspected a matter so impractical as respecting the dead would mean nothing to you, Dwan. So I submit one more argument. The lives of the soldiers you sent to spy. If you leave the cemetery, I shall set them free. They will fight at your side. If not, I shall kill them, here and now.
Milady, don't listen to him. He can't be trusted.
Rayla, those are good men. Fabian, Gerrit, Matthias, they've served me for a decade. They'd crawl through 7 hells for their queen. They do not deserve such a death.
I accept your conditions.
Your Grace, I beg you.
Soldiers! We march into the field!
Eldain clasped his hands in thanks. Then, in a swift, almost careless movement, slit the throat of the scout standing nearest to him.
You should have listened to Rayla, Your Grace. We elves truly cannot be trusted. Spala!
I place a high value on my men's lives. Which is why I cannot risk my entire unit for a handful of soldiers.
Your Grace, please, consider.
I reject your offer, Eldain.
As you wish, Renna. Squash me.
In a swift, almost careless movement, Eldane slit the throat of the scout standing nearest to him, then gave the order to attack.
Careful, stay alert. They're cowards all, and sure to have laid traps.
This could hurt.
Show me the coin or sod off.
Watch your heads.
I saw them! No other way!
Shh! Cork it! Gotta get our asses moving. My pain serves a purpose.
Ever have a stone knock out one of your teeth?
Her Majesty is exceptional.
I've hit the white of an eye from half a league away.
Nothing personal, I assure you.
Onward, Fryhead!
Fear not. We shall achieve our goal.
If anyone asks, you've not seen me.
I shall not fail!
There's been a mistake. I'm no mage.
None shall tread on us!
Bigger they are, easier they are to target.
Prepare to fight, if you've any honor.
Look what the werecat dragged in.
Slaughter them to a man!
Thing about slings, they hide well.
I was hoping you'd say that.
After a long, bloody battle, Eldain's unit was destroyed, and Eldain himself sat at Meave's feet, defeated and dying.
To die in a cemetery. Something amusing in it, wouldn't you say?
I am surprised you are in the mood for humor.
All my tears I shed years ago. My family, killed in a massacre aimed at eradicating our race. Senseless. Utterly senseless. Reyna, we have lost. Me, my Scoia'tael, the Enshay. We shall vanish from this earth. Your grandchildren will know us in fairy tales only. Lay my bones to rest in a grave. Let me part this world with dignity. Ager Dregared.
Oh, please! How dare he? Look, he laughs, Your Grace! This dog should rot in an open field. Need I mention the willow? The men he strung from it?
So be it. I shall lay you in a tomb.
Your Grace! How can you justify this? A cutthroat! A murderer!
As are you, Rayla. As am I. For centuries we fight. Kill one another. Shed blood for bloodshed. Attack and counterattack. Each act more cruel and bloody than the last. The cycle ends now. What was done I cannot undo. But I can do this. Grant a dying soul dignity.
Thank you. Vathea, Rena.
Black Rayla stormed off, shoving her way through the gathered men. Meave paid her no heed. The soldiers laid Eldain's remains in an empty crypt. The rest of the Scoia'tael they buried in a pit near the edge of the woods. The next morning, at dawn's first light, the Lyrians marched off, eager to leave the Moulderwood behind.
Mercy you don't deserve, Eldain. I shall leave you where you lie. Where rats will gnaw at your bones.
In your boots, I would do the same. Vasse derad, ep again.
Meave gave the order to march that very night, not waiting for the day to break. She wished to leave behind as soon as possible the Moulderwood and the rotting elven remains littering Kedva Genvid Cemetery. Black Rayla rode at the head of the caravan to the Queen's right, a satisfied smile playing on her lips.
At last. I'd begun to think this wood had no end.
And I thought bandits knew their way round a wood.
We do. Around those not brimming with elves armed to teeth.
Naturally. At once. Yes?
Got any victuals? Hungry like a wolf, I am.
You can try to win them all, but you won't.
Discipline shall bring us victory!
The burning fields and orchards spewed thick black smoke, turning day into darkest night. Riding in the middle of her caravan, Meve could see neither its head nor its rear. Reynard ordered the men to keep formation and march in silence.
Eyes open, fore and aft. The foe might well use these conditions to spring a trap.
When a scout's shrill horn cut through the silence, Meve immediately galloped to the front of the column. She found herself in a pile of red-hot coals that had once been peasants' huts.
What the devil happened here?
Bodies lay amid the ashes, barefoot men in nightshirts as if caught in their sleep. Meve deemed them yet more victims of the black-clad invaders. But Gascon had another interpretation.
Look at the arrows. Imperial issue? Not hardly. Nor are they the type the Scoia'tael favour. And the tracks in the mud, the attackers fought not in formation, but man to man. Bandits. It must have been.
Reynard, standing next to him, nodded in agreement.
Gascon can be relied on here. After all, he knows of what he speaks.
An uncomfortable silence fell over the group, ending only when Meve ordered the scouts to determine the direction of the bandits' tracks. They returned to report the killers were hiding somewhere to the north.
I'm going no further, and I'd advise you to do the same. Bandits took the fort to the north.
Was nearly home. Nearly with my dear wife. Another dead end. How the demons do I get out of here? How do I quit this place for good? Cursed land. Nothing but corpses and ash. Corpses and ash far as the eye can see. Smoke everywhere. Billows of it. Stings your eyes and scratches at your throat.
The scouts reported the bandits who attacked the village that night now occupied a fort the Adernians had hastily abandoned during their retreat.
They'll have crossbows, arbalists, ballistae. The bandits are armed to the teeth.
What's more, according to the local folk, they had a witch among them. In light of these reports, Meve's advisors debated whether it was worth risking a fight with the brigands.
Let's call it as it is.
Gascon said.
The game's not worth the candle.
Game?
Rayla said, struggling to swallow her anger.
They slaughtered an entire village. We cannot let them get away.
The Queen concluded attacking carried too great a risk at this moment. The Lyrian forces kept a good distance from the fort. The bandits' fort loomed once more on the horizon, and Meve's advisors debated whether or not to attack. The stage seemed set for a long debate, when Meve pounded her fist on the table.
I am a queen, for God's sakes. I shall not cower before common rogues, even if the entire conclave of mages stands with them. Reynard, have the men prepare their arms.
Reynard saluted and left the tent. If one had seen him then, he would have sworn the grizzled soldier smiled to himself, beaming with pride in his ruler.
Your Grace, I saw flashes of light inside the fort.
Surrender while you can!
I smell a leak.
We'll get that fixed in no time, I promise.
Are you mad? Don't shake that!
Hey?
Did you hear that? A kind of incantation.
Something's not right. They should be dead with those wounds.
Today's gonna be a good day.
We must find a gap in the fortifications.
Ever have a stone knock out one of your teeth? I've hit the white of an eye from half a league away.
Juiciest leaks in town, get him here.
Bigger they are, easier they are to target.
You can try to win them all, but you won't.
Getting to work.
The salty winds are blowing.
My scars? No, they don't hurt.
Got any victuals? Hungry like a wolf, I am. Take it anymore. You can try to win them all, but you won't.
The fort is ours, Your Grace.
They battled long and hard to take the fort. Meve could have sworn she saw bandits stalking its ramparts. Bandits who moments before had taken a bolt to the head. By all rights, a mortal wound.
What the devil is going on here?
She swore as she took cover behind her shield. The secret was unraveled only after the battle's conclusion. Meave's soldiers dragged before her a grey-haired woman in coloured robes. The aura radiating from her left no doubt. They had fought a sorceress. It was her healing spells that enabled the bandits to hold off their attack for so long.
What is your name, sorceress?
Isbel of Tretogor.
I take it you did not keep company with bandits willingly?
Not at all. They kidnapped me and forced me to aid them.
Forced? I do not understand. As a woman fluent in the arcana of magic, you could have freed yourself with little effort.
True, I could have. But I would have had to kill, and I swore never to use my talents to harm another.
Not even in self-defense?
Not even then.
Then you live in truly unfortunate times. War rages all around. You cannot hide from it.
So be it. Then I must entrust myself to the care of the gods.
Or a passing queen.
You stand before Meave, by divine right ruler of Lyria and Rivia. We seek the lord of these lands, Demavend.
Oh, forgive me for not recognizing you, your grace. You do not look like a ruler. More like a mercenary.
Nor do you look like a sorceress.
True, milady. Forgive me. I meant no offense.
I accept your apology, and would gladly welcome you into our ranks. Truth be told, a skilled worker of magic would prove most useful to us. True, I wear no crown. It was stolen from me along with my country. I strive to reclaim what was taken, and admit the help of a sorceress would prove useful.
Thank you, my lady. But you must know, an army is no place for me.
Should you wish it not, you needn't fight. We have many civilians among our ranks who
do their part in the slaughter. Indirect guilt is enough.
My soldiers do not slaughter, they fight.
Lofty words, but the result is the same. Piles of corpses.
Well, a bandit I am not. I shall not force you. Reynard, prepare the men to march on.
Of course, but if I may, perhaps Xavier might have a look at the war machines we captured. He may find some parts of use.
Meave followed Reynard's suggestion. Xavier went to work.
Yes, your grace.
Gods! What happened to him?
He was in Rosberg when the stronghold fell. Nearly burned alive.
How are you healing him?
The medics recommended regular poultices of dog's tallow, but whether they've any effect...
Of course they've no effect. For such wounds. How he must suffer.
In the day he reveals nothing. But at night one awakes to hear him sob with pain. You see? I need healers.
I shall go with you. But never shall I use magic to take a life. Do I make myself clear?
I am unaccustomed to such provisos, particularly delivered in such a tone. If you wish to grant us a favor, you'd best to go your own way.
I understand. In that case, farewell, your grace. May the men who die by your hand not return to haunt your dreams.
The sorceress' words sounded like a warning and a confession. Meave tried later to find out more about Isbel of Tretogor, but no sorceress she ever met had heard of the woman.
Yes, you have put it quite plain, and rather bluntly.
Forgive me, your grace. It has been long since I played the host. I forget the custom.
Your spells mean more to me than your manners. Welcome to our ranks, Isbel.
Isbel sat in one of their wagons and shut her tired eyes. Her long grey hair seemed to flutter ever so slightly, though there was neither wind nor breeze.
Smoke everywhere. Billows of it. Stings your eyes and scratches at your throat. Cursed land. Nothing but corpses and ash. Corpses and ash far as the eye can see. Smoke everywhere. Billows of it. Stings your eyes and scratches at your throat.
The ruins still smoulder. Nilfgaard Park's not long afore. They must be close.
No doubt they already knock at Aldersburg's gate. We must make haste.
Brave warriors. Fled so fast, didn't manage to pack. Beautiful sword. Not a scratch on it. Our army showed well in the parade, but when it came down to it, it's of no real use to me. Take it if you'd like. Left in the fields, it'll go to waste.
Our ballista, your command. Armor won't serve.
Stop your yapping and start digging.
Niamh shook her head in disbelief as she surveyed the landscape before her. The Nilfgaardians had destroyed everything in their path. Burned farms, trampled fields, leveled orchards.
The bastards.
She hissed.
They mean to cause a famine.
When the Lyrians reached Braithwaite, a small village near Aldersburg, they saw gaunt men and women, more bone than flesh, gnawing on acorns and boot leather. The invaders had requisitioned every scrap of the village's food stores and hauled it off to their nearby camp. In strained voices, the villagers begged the Queen to help them retrieve their supplies.
Milady, Frost'll come before we know it. Fair't help us. Why not a soul will live to see the thaw?
Niamh looked around at the blackened, scorched village, at the walking skeletons who dwelled in it. The suffocating smoke bellowing up from the fields sent tears streaming down her face.
I'll do what I can,
was all she said.
Milady, have mercy. We'll waste away and starve.
The Lyrians reached the outer defenses of the camp where the Nilfgaardians had taken Braithwaite's food stores. Rayla delivered her report.
3 heavy infantry regiments, Reserve arbalists,
The warrior said.
and I heard neighing, so they've cavalry as well.
Niamh said nothing, working it over in her head. The fate of the starving villagers weighed on her heart. But was it worth risking heavy losses to aid them? After consulting with Reynard and Gascon, Niamh concluded the risk was too high. Retrieving the plundered goods would have to be left for another time. Some Lyrians met this decision with understanding, others with disgust. Niamh returned to the fort where the Nilfgaardians had stored the supplies stolen from Braithwaite. Her Lyrians prepared their equipment for battle.
The Nilfgaardians keep food in storage and watch it rot while peasants perish from hunger. Will we allow this?
The Queen said, addressing her soldiers. Cried the soldiers.
I didn't think so.
Niamh said with a smile as she drew her weapon.
Lyrians, attack! Today our swords shall taste Imperial blood!
You mad? Don't shake that!
New orders? No?
Go, hop, hop!
Must be an important lesson in this. But what?
For Demavend!
Wise choice.
Getting to work. This could hurt.
Her Majesty is exceptional.
We got a job to do. Gloire! My scars? No, they don't hurt.
Order!
Gloire!
Hey?
Order will triumph! It must triumph!
Yes.
Ever have a stone knock out one of your teeth?
Destillat Seifel!